What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices. Go on over to scoresandodds.com. Sorry, we're not up on Twitter. I'm going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, that guy over there for some reason, and many more. Plus, you get access to this nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we project for each individual player, plus where the best odds are at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's where I'm giving you all my bets each and every day before the odds move. So you can get in there, get the best lines. We got football today. Did you know that, Daniel?
Yeah, like real American football. It's not the nonsense, the preseason stuff that people get so excited about. I've watched zero plays of preseason football, but I am super excited to watch. It's a great game. They're rolling out we got the Rams and we got the Bills, two exciting offenses, two fun teams. I'll be watching it, and I'm not a big island game guy. Give me the red zone. That is what I thoroughly enjoy, but I will be watching it. Looking forward to it, man. Football season. I did a show last night with Daigle and Rebar. Shout out to my the Pick Six show. Two of the smartest minds, and they just throw a bunch of stats. You got to bring on your pen, your pencil, your notepad, the whole deal, and take notes. But I've been prepping all week for football. The grind for baseball is finally kind of getting to me. It just finally hit me like yesterday. I'm like, man, this is month number 6. I'm gonna, there are worse things to be doing in your life, Grant. It's not that bad. I'm very excited to be talking about football and happy to be back on the show. I feel like I haven't been on your show in a while. We've just been dodging each other.
Yeah, well, you were stuck in my house for like a month or 2 months, and I need some time away. Just some time away. Push you away. I think you're on this side. Push you away. But now enough time has passed. I've healed. I'm all right.
I'm sorry for everything.
That worked out well. Doc's enjoyed it. Doc's is my puppy, and I'm future Mrs. Neiffer. And you may be wondering why I'm not using another mug. It's because someone was supposed to be on the show with me yesterday. And
there it is,
Frazier.
Where'd you get that from? That's pretty sweet.
That is. Sorry I stayed at your house so long. Present from Daniel Chevelson.
That bought me an extra week.
Yeah, well, it didn't arrive until after you were gone. It just subsided the anger.
He's making a comeback now, just in time. It appears people are super excited about the movie.
He's winning an Oscar. I'm going to bet on that. I will find a way to bet on that.
I mean, the story matters, right? Like, obviously, the movie's got to be good. The acting's got to be good. And I haven't seen it yet. It's not out.
There's no one who doesn't have an Oscar who deserves one more than Brendan Fraser.
Ooh, that's a good. That's a good question. I'm going to take some time and think about that. Because, acting wise, that's probably not true. But his story, right? Okay.
Acting wise, I guess.
He shouldn't get an Oscar for George the Jungle. It's like
the Mummy 2, Blast from the Past.
Those are not Oscar-worthy movies.
With Honor.
I like With Honors. No, there's somebody else.
Encino Man. Monkey Bone. Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Monkey Bone is what you're closing with.
No, I close with Journey to the Center of the Earth. Absolutely delightful. I think him and Alexandra Daddario. Is that right? Journey?
I don't know. I've never seen Journey.
We got football to talk about. No, it was Anita Brim. Don't know. Oh, Josh Hutchinson was in that. But we got football to talk about. I'm going to real quickly go over my baseball bets.
Yeah.
Kyle Gibson over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 121 Caesars. Now we're done with baseball. Now we got that out of the way.
He's playing the Marlins. I think that's worth noting.
Yeah. Going against the Marlins are not good. But I guess we'll start off with some of the newer bets I've had. If you've been watching this show all week, you've seen me put in all these bets. Some of them have moved. Some of them have not. But yeah, still pretty solid. We'll start off with Stephon Diggs, over 5.5 receptions. I love this. You can get minus 110 over at Superbook, which is in some states. Minus 115 over at Betfred. Those are the two that I had to bet on. I had to hit it twice. What is it at?
I don't know Betfred. Is that Colorado only?
Minus 105 over at MGM. Well, I fudged.
You screwed up, Grant.
Well, no, I fudged by posting it minus 110, but
yeah,
I also can't really do anything on MGM. So if you can get it at MGM, go get it at MGM. They will let me get $13 on the line.
You won too much money there?
Yeah. I destroyed MGM. I absolutely destroyed them.
You still have your 7-star status?
That's at Caesars.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I'm confused.
Yeah. But Diggs over 5.5 strikeouts, still in baseball. Over 5.5 receptions, sitting at minus 105 over to MGM. I like it all the way up to minus 120. Currently have him projected close to 7. The bat has him over 7. RG projection.
The Blitz. You said the bat.
The Blitz. It's not baseball season anymore. We have him projected for 6.71. FanDuel has it all the way over at minus 136, which is probably the right line. Yeah, it's just a beautiful. It's going to be a high scoring game. The total's what, at 52 still? 52. Last time I checked. Yeah, so Diggs over 5.5 receptions. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, I was told the pride of UCF, Gabe Davis, was the number 1 receiver in all football. So maybe he gets 17 receptions and Diggs doesn't get any. But at least according to Twitter, I love him. I love some Gabe Davis too. But like Diggs is still the guy, obviously. Yeah, and it should be
potentially the best route runner in the league.
I mean, I'm not that guy to say. Like I've seen.
You're not that guy, but you're not that guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Like I've seen him run some good routes, but I don't know. I can't do like best route runner power rankings. I couldn't do that. But yeah, sure. I don't disagree.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's probably up there. Devontae Adams probably up there. Yeah,
Keenan Allen seems like a good name to throw in that conversation.
Who?
Keenan Allen.
Okay, I thought you said Steven Adams. I'm like, wrong sport, buddy. Yeah, Keenan Allen. I mean, he's been one of the best for years. Cooper Kupp's probably up there.
I was gonna say Kupp.
Yeah,
but again, that's not my lane.
Yeah. Next one in this game, Dawson Knox. I have both under 3.5 receptions at minus 110 over bet 365. I think it's the same over at MGM, and I have him under 38.5 receiving yards, although I think that one's moved 3 or 4 points down, or 3 or 4 yards down. He hit the under on both these, I think, in 10 out of 17 games last season. While he does have big outlier games and his average receptions and yards per game might be over this, the median is well below this. I like them both. It's a tough matchup going up against the Rams. While it is high scoring, Buffalo is a favorite, so they might not be throwing to him too much. But yeah, it's a good line in my opinion.
He just got paid too. I don't know how you want to.
I just got paid.
I don't know what that's from. Is that Nickelback?
No, I want to say it's like Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah, again, not my lane. Neither one of those. Yeah, they just gave him 53 mil. I mean, not all guaranteed, I presume, but 53 mil over 4 years, good for him. But yeah, I'm not good at predicting his usage. Knox. I don't know if the Rams are traditionally good versus tight ends or somewhere in the middle. Do you have anything of that, or you're just betting on like his median is historically lower and that's that?
For Knox, I mean he's good. It's just they have a lot of mouths to feed. They have what? Who do they added some? Why can't I remember? I'm blanking.
Well, they got McKenzie still. They had a Crowder who, like, I don't know how much he's going to be.
Crowder, that was it. I mean, Crowder's a guy that eats up some receptions. I mean, may not be great, but he'll eat up some reception. Everyone's fully healthy. Yeah, I just don't think it's a great line.
Fair enough.
Daryl Henderson, under 29.5 rushing yards, plus 106 over at Caesars. This is one where it's distinctly better line at Caesars than it is other places. Man, my computer sucks right now. Yeah, so I think that Henderson, it's minus 110 almost everywhere. But it's plus 106 over at Caesars. It might have moved already. I think this is more Akers offense. I think that, we are going conservative with the snap share. I also think it's a tough match going up against Buffalo. It's too high of a line for me.
So it's interesting. I was listening to Adam Schefter today, just kind of ran into it, and he was talking about this was his last pick in his fantasy draft this season. He took, I'm not sure, is it Kyron Williams? I don't know how to pronounce the guy's first name. I apologize. But the third running back for the Rams, he's like, And like he gets inside information, whatever, and every once in a while he's right on these things, and who knows, he's barely projected to even carry the ball. But I just think it's worth noting, maybe this guy, maybe Schefter knows something. I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen today. I presume he's still the third running back, but he might be worked into the mix. And that, even if it's a couple carries, so that takes away from Akers and Henderson as well. But I think it should be Akers 65-35, that kind of thing, right? I think it'll be somewhere around there. Of course, Akers last year was terrible. I mean, awesome he came back from his injury, but he was not good. We'll see how he bounces back, and maybe this game just turns into a shootout as far as the arm, assuming Stafford and whatever is going on with his elbow is okay, and it's not a big deal, and that's a nothing burger. But I'm good with that. I think that's a pretty reasonable take. And I just pulled up Derek Hardy's The Blitz. And what is the number? You said 27? Is that what it was?
29.5. I think he hasn't projected at 30.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, he's got him projected for 33 for what it's worth. But
yeah, I'm getting minus 106 on the end, or plus 106 on the under. So
little positive juice.
Yeah. Next one, we have Matt Stafford over 36.5 passing attempts, plus 100 over at Caesars. Line is currently sitting at minus 103 now, which I still like it there. I mean, this game has a 52 total. Stafford's going to be then they're 3-point dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is going to have a lot of plays in it. Going to be outpaced. Stafford's going to be throwing a lot. He hit this at a 60% clip last season.
By 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that Stafford is it's a great bet getting over 36.5 passing yards or attempts. Yeah,
it should be. I mean, that's the hope. That's what I'm rooting for is like, I'm going to be playing a good bit of DFS. I'm playing a little showdown slate tonight, and I'm probably going to be more offensive minded, and we'll see. But I don't think I'm rostering the defenses. I'm hoping for a shootout. The NFL wants a shootout, right? They want to throw a bunch of points on the board, get people excited about the season. That's what gets people excited, I think. People like the 35-32 kind of game. And I think that's what we're going to kind of sort of get. That's the hope here. And one of the ways to get there is a lot of balls being thrown by Matthew Stafford. There you go.
Yeah, Singletary under 15.5 receiving yards. It's moved all the way down to 13.5. I think it's probably where it should be at. You can still bet it, but I just don't love it as much. Jameis Winston over 15.5 rushing yards. He had this in 5 of his 7 games last year. I know he's coming off an injury. Maybe he's less prone to run. But 15.5 rushing yards at plus 108 over at Caesars. Let's see if that's moved. Again, this is
I've heard several people talk about it, so it probably has.
Yeah, the best line is I might hit this again. 16.5 rushing yards at plus 118, plus 120 over at DraftKings. You know what? I'm going to hit this again. Juice. I really, really like this bet. I'm going to go hit it now over at DK because, I mean, getting that much better juice. I mean, it's probably close to the same as the over 15.5, but I still really, really like that. I mean,
yeah, I think that's a pretty good bet.
I mean, do you think his injury is really going to keep him from running that much?
I don't think so. We'll see, but I mean, there's a lot of guesswork here, obviously. But maybe if it's baked in that line, it's baked in that line. You're getting plus 120 on it.
Yeah,
it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm hitting it. I'll throw another 300 on it. I like to party. It's opening weekend. I got money to blow. Let's see. Jameis Winston. Talk about Kyle Pitts under 54.5 receiving yards if you like that.
I am conflicted on it because everybody's waiting. Everybody's, Pitts obviously specimen, super talented. Last year, he showed flashes. You don't typically see tight ends put up big numbers their first season. That's just like a general rule. And I know he's tight end in name, but not exactly, right? He kind of operates as a receiver. Is it? It's probably a downgrade as far as quarterback play, right? Mariota, as opposed to Matt Ryan, who's pocket guy.
It's probably a downgrade.
Yeah, I mean Mariota, we've seen flashes, but yeah,
That's like saying you're probably shorter than me.
Well, okay, Matt Ryan, like in his heyday, of course, was like distinctly better. But like now, Matt Ryan, at least there's some questions there. And last year he wasn't great, but you can blame it on the line, I suppose, and just overall anemic the offense in general. But and I think Ryan's going to be okay. Like, is a good. I don't want to say quarterback manager because that's kind of an insult this year. But yeah, okay. I don't know how big the downgrade is.
215 yards passing. Is it? Mariota's sitting at 215 for his yards total. He's going up against New Orleans. New Orleans is a good defense. Like I mean, I'm getting. Oh, I also should mention.
I like the under a lot. Actually,
I'm getting plus 114 juice on the under.
I think there's too much positive momentum on Pitts, and everybody's expecting him to take this leap, and maybe he does, but I don't know if he necessarily takes it in week one. You said 58.
I got the under at 54.5. I got a big juice. It's now at 60, so it keeps moving.
The public loves him.
Yeah, I still like it at 59.5 at minus 101 on the under.
Yeah, and like you said, New Orleans is expected to have a really good defense, and I think even, again, I'm not this guy necessarily, but what I was reading, they're good on the outside as well. Just sort of, I think they're going to do a good job against Pitts, and I'm pretty sure they locked them down last year too, if I'm not mistaken. If that's worth anything to you, I'm okay betting against the hype on Pitts at least for one week. I like the under a good bit actually.
Yeah. Easy in chat asking if we're going to have a movie bet. I think we kind of decided on one before the show. You like the Chargers minus 3.5. I like Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, you're such a you love Derek Carr, and I like the Chargers. I keep falling for them, and I know they never seem to be involved in games that are. And this is just anecdotal, and it's probably not true, but all their games seem to be like within 3 points and something goofy happening, right? But I think the Chargers are better than the Raiders, well more than like a point or whatever you want to call it. Typically, I know we talked about this with pre-show. 3 points is the line, for the favorite. I know it's their home field advantage is not the same as the home field advantage as you would get, say, in New England in December or whatever, or in Indianapolis even, but it's something. And the Raiders, I think, kind of overachieved a little bit last year. The Chargers added some defensive pieces. I think Herbert takes a leap. I think he's potentially an MVP guy this year. I'm a sucker for the Chargers. There's revenge for like the Raiders beating them in the last week of the season last year to knock Chargers out of the playoffs.
That's still the biggest thing that I ever wished happened was a tie in that game.
Yeah, and it was very, very close to happening. And didn't the Chargers call a timeout because something goofy
the Chargers
happened.
called a timeout, and I think whoever the head coach was mentioned, if they wouldn't have called a timeout, we would have just run the ball out.
Yeah, but once the timeout was called, then they felt like almost pressured, and they're like, okay, now you can't just. And then they ran it for like 15 yards. They're going to draw, maybe. Is that right? Does that sound correct? Maybe 10, 15 yards?
Yeah.
And they kicked the field goal, and that was that. And it's like, okay, because they weren't going to drop back and pass and risk something goofy. What a wild scenario.
Yeah.
Like if the NFL was fixed, like that's the thing they did. That's what they do. That's the game they put on the last game of the season at night in prime time. But man, that was some wild stuff. And if I told you that scenario happened to a team without knowing anything, which team do you think it happened to? It's the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah, absolutely. Same game, Marcus Mariota under 35.5 longest passing completion. Minus 113 at Caesars.
Yeah. It's brutal. Like I'm not rooting for it, but like a 42-yard pass to Pitts is just like, oh, those are daggers. But yeah.
Yeah. Kelsey over 76.5 receiving yards, plus 106. I don't know if this line has moved. We'll check it out here. Kelsey. Yeah, it's dropped down 3 with more juice. I'm still fine with it, but I prefer the over at minus 108, 73.5 over at Caesars. Rodgers over 33.5 passing attempts. I think he's still going to be chucking it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they're talking about, the running back situation, it's they said that the Jones and Dillon are 1A and 1A, and they can just hammer with the 1-2 running back combination. Probably the best 1-2 combination in the league for what it's worth. It's a passing league, obviously, and Rodgers is your quarterback. Lazard may not play this week for what it's worth. So without Lazard, potentially, likely, definitely without Adams, obviously.
I mean, we've seen like Aaron Rodgers is still top 3 QB in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
he just won the MVP last season.
Okay, maybe he is. I'm not saying no.
I mean, I think it goes probably Mahomes, Josh Allen 1A and 1B, and then Rodgers.
But it's if you give me the next 3 years, I'll take Herbert.
Not talking about that. That has absolutely nothing to do with this game in particular.
Well, it changes the conversation a little bit. Yeah,
care about it does not. At this moment,
is he the third best?
This game, week 1, 2022.
Yeah.
Just based on their skill at this moment,
it might be.
It's Rodgers is probably top 3. It does not matter about the future. That does not matter for this bet.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to think who else it could be. I do agree.
Move the goalposts.
No. I'm not moving goalposts. I'm entertaining your question. I think it's a good question. Your thoughts. Some might say Stafford. I don't think so. I think you're probably right.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't put Stafford above Rodgers.
Lamar? I don't think so. So. A different quarterback, obviously.
Yeah.
Completely different skill set.
Brady, definitely not.
No.
I think it's Rodgers, number 3.
Justin Fields. I'd say Carson Wentz. I don't think that Big T loves him some Carson Wentz. He
does.
Yes, remember his list of quarterbacks many years ago?
Yeah.
I think he was top 5, which is, he gets a lot of stuff right, but I want to bring that one up.
Everyone, someone on the show once said that Derek Carr was a bottom 5 quarterback.
I mean, I can't. I was thinking of his brother, David Carr.
David Carr was just in a bad situation.
Forever?
Yes.
At some point, you land in a better spot, but yeah.
No, you never develop because you're just in a trash scenario, which is an expansion team. Neither here nor there. Justin Fields, under 35.5 rushing yards, plus 112 over at Caesars.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. You got to figure they're going to be in catch-up mode, in theory. That game might be bad weather, for the record. We'll see what Roth has to say, but potentially some bad weather lurking there, some rain lurking there. The Bears are expected to have one of the worst lines in football. Probably some catch-up stuff, and I would assume he's going to be forced to scramble. And I would assume the new coaching staff is smart enough and sharp enough to say, let's get this guy some bootlegs and things like that, right? Know your personnel. I don't know, man. I don't have a take on it, but I'm uncomfortable on that bet, for the record.
Plus 114 on the under was the main thing.
Okay.
Daniel Jones, under 20.5, also plus 114 on the under. Wow, it's moved to 19.5 with plus 102 on the under. All right, stay away from that bet. David Montgomery, over 52.5 rushing yards, plus 108 on the over at Caesars.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't have a lot of confidence in the Bears' offense. Is my general
I wouldn't,
thought.
But 52.5 is a low number. He's going to run the ball a lot.
You make the number low enough, then sure. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on it. But, I don't feel – we talk about that line, and looking at people projecting the offensive lines, the Bears bottom 2, bottom 3, depending on where you're looking. I think PFF had them bottom 5. But the opportunity is going to be there, and unless this game blows out.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, over 97.5 rushing yards, got plus 114 on the over. If I remember correctly, I think Giants were – I think it's moved a little bit. It's at plus 104 at 98.5, so I'm feeling real good about this bet. And then on the other side, Barkley, over 55.5 rushing yards, got that at plus 114 also. It's moved up. It's moved up to minus 101 on the over. I still slightly like the over. Barkley is going to show what he was his rookie year. Barkley's still very, very good.
I think, and I'm sure the numbers reflect it, but I think the one I really like is Barkley receptions because they have no receivers or whatever receivers they have. It's just a disaster. But it's probably, I haven't looked, with 6.5 or something. It's probably a pretty big number for running back. Do you happen to have that on the fly?
His receptions number?
Yeah, I feel like he's going to just catch a bunch of passes.
I mean, he did with Eli. Jones didn't really. I don't know if that line's out yet. Doesn't look like it is.
Let's see. I'm gonna. What's according to? Where is he at? I'm checking out the blitz here on the fly with Cardi's. I'm surprised he's got him projected kind of low for receptions. Maybe that's a bad read by me. If the line is like 3.5, I love the over.
Yeah,
I love.
Yeah, but I doubt the line's going to be at 3.5, and it's not even up yet for a reason.
Okay, well, that's where Cardi's got it at right now. And obviously, of course, that stuff changes and it's fluid and whatever. I'm sure this is not a finalized product, but it's just interesting. I thought it'd be higher than that.
Davis Mills over 31.5 passing attempts. Currently sitting at -115 over at DraftKings. I love this line. I bet this line so many times last season. Davis Mills, not great, but game script is always helping him out. He's going to chuck the ball a lot. Going up against the Colts, I assume that he'll be down. Last year, let's see, after his first 4 weeks getting into the offense, 43, 32, 38, 14. Strange enough versus the Colts, but they put up a goose egg there. 49, 30, 27, 32, 33. So hit it a pretty massive clip. I'm expecting him to be chucking the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, he was never as bad as people want him to be, right? That's just
I won so much money on him last season. Like everyone's like, nah, don't play him. And I played him a lot. And I think I played him the last week of the season.
Like DFS wise or betting wise or what?
I both bet on his over on passing attempts a lot.
Yeah.
Over on his completions and over on yards. Because he was sitting at like 200 yards for most of them. And he had, 300-yard games. I bet on him versus I played him in DFS almost every week.
Yeah, I feel like the market never really corrected. Like Mills, just for whatever reason, was just everybody just decided this guy is terrible. I don't know if it's his name. I don't know what it was.
Terrible on a terrible offense. Well, guess what? He still has Braden Cooks, who is still one of the better wide receivers in the league.
He can still do things, yeah. And then he just sort of like finds guys. There's an array of like players that just sort of, it's kind of a whack-a-mole thing with it. Outside of Cooks, other guys that sort of rise up on any given week.
Yeah. Cole Kmet under 3.5 total receptions, +120 at Caesars. There's no way it should be +120. I mean, Fields is not good.
He's another one that people are expecting, to have us take a step forward this year. And he's essentially, there's so few receivers. It's Mooney and like nobody else, right? You look at the depth chart for the receivers for the Bears, man. Is Byron Pringle their number 2 receiver? The throwaway from KC. St. Brown. Dante Pettis. Okay. And I don't know. And again, I'm not somebody who follows college football really. I don't know who is Velas Jones. Is that a rookie? I don't know who that is.
Yeezy in chat asking what's the Knox touchdown prop? +205 over at Caesars. I don't hate that. Don't love it, don't hate it. It's not bad. It's a high scoring game. Knox tends to get in the end zone a lot more frequently than you think. I don't hate that. Joe Mixon, last bet, I believe. Over 2.5 receptions, -103 over at Caesars. I mean, I think he hit this in 10 of 17 games last season. So, like, Mixon, he's going to get more dump-offs than people realize. Granted, Burrow is good, but he'll pass Mixon. And he'll be in there a lot of plays. I mean, it's against Steelers. They'll be pressuring him. So I'm sure there'll be a decent amount of dump-offs to Mixon. I really like that over. Is
he assumed to be the third down guy, or is it going to be like P. Ryan or maybe Evans a little bit? Or is P. Ryan the third down guy? Or we don't know, or just we'll see. And mostly it's going to be, sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't, that kind of thing. Are you still doing turd bombs, by the way? Did you do turd bomb video? Or is
Devin got busy today. Yesterday and today, I got my video. I had my 3 picks. 2 of them were scratched. Or 2 of them not scratched. 2 of them weren't in the lineup.
Yeah.
So I had Newbar and Gorman today. Of course, neither of them in the lineup.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, which I don't understand at all. Yeah, that's it. That's the show.
Oh, our movie bet is. I think I still owe you to watch a movie, and you still owe me to watch a movie. Like forever ago, I signed one. You refused to watch it.
I don't remember. I can watch it.
And you gave me some random movie that's out.
Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to watch that.
Great movie. It's very well done. It's very good acting. Very interesting premise. A little bit slow, which I feel like gives you a big old bone.
I don't mind a slow movie, like a slow burn, as long as it's it's worth it. Give me the payoff. Give me the payoff. I'm good to go. I watched kind of a slow burn yesterday. I watched the National Championship. Are you aware of this movie? It's a football movie with no football, but it's a football college-based movie about the national championships about to go down in like 2 or 3 days, and some of the star players. One of the star players is basically talking about sitting out to negotiate. Essentially, the players getting a share of like the billions of dollars. And it's also like timely. This came out before the NIL stuff, like just before it. I think it came out in 2020, maybe. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Are you aware of this movie or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's got J.K. Simmons as the football coach.
What do you think of J.K. Rawlings?
No. Who's no? J.K. Simmons is like the father and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also
J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter, your favorite movie.
Okay, I knew that name, and I was like, "Who is J.K. Rowling's?" Yeah, Harry Potter, not my favorite movie. You forced me to watch one of them. I didn't hate it, for the record.
You hated Lord of the Rings. You didn't hate Harry Potter.
I thought it was better than I expected, and that's my endorsement. But like, my expectations were, on the floor essentially, because I'm not a child. You see, I'm not 9. So, it's hard for me to get excited about such things. But yeah, it was better than Lord of the Rings. I'll say that, which was the worst. That's the worst movie you gave me to watch.
It's also probably had the highest rating. King Charles III is the new king.
Well, wait, I saw the queen died. Don't they have a new queen? I don't know the rules. They have a new king when a queen dies?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Next in line, King Charles, the former Prince of Wales.
Okay. Is that the same King Charles that we knew for years with the ears? Or is that a different King Charles? That was Prince Charles. Is Prince Charles now the king?
Yeah.
Or is this a different guy?
Charles Philip Arthur George.
That's like all the cliche names.
He could have chosen from any of his 4 names. Yeah, he was the Prince of Wales.
Okay. But I mean, is this the one that I used to know that used to be like in the National Enquirer nonsense you'd see it when you're in the store or something? I don't follow. It's not for me. And if you enjoy it, have at it, I guess. But
although he is the Prince Williams, although he is the heir of the throne, Prince Williams will not automatically become the Prince of Wales. However, he will immediately inherit his father's other title, Duke of Cornwall.
Oh man, what a perk that is. Well, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds like you sound important, right?
Yes, and his wife Catherine will be known as the Duchess of Cornwall.
You ever see that revenge movie? That one of my Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, yeah, fabulous. I love that movie.
Yeah, like that. He gives himself a name, right? And like Luis Guzman's in it, and it's a Guy Pearce. I want to say, solid movie. I think we've talked about this before, actually. Really
yeah, we did, because I was going to give you that as a movie bet, but
you would have actually given me a good recommendation.
I was trying to give you a good recommendation that will, get you all boned up.
See, this is the same guy. I think he's 70 years old. Is 70? Okay.
Jim Caviezel. Yeah.
That's who it was.
All right. Anything before we get on out of here?
I think the Chargers are going to beat the Raiders. I'm not sure if they're going to beat them by 3.5, but they're going to beat them. That's going to happen. Anything else that I feel pretty good about football-wise? Nah, I mean, if I have any takes, I'll throw them in the Grant's Action Lounge. I'm happy to say it again.
Throw them on in there.
Yeah. I got nothing else though, Grant.
All right. Well, guys, it's been fun. We're out of here. See you, kids.